Chapter 2. Research Aptitude. Concept and definition of research. Earlier it might have taken thousands of years to double up the amount of knowledge, but now, this may happen every few years. Progress in any domain of knowledge, be it natural science, applied science, or social science, won't happen without research. Research is the lifeblood of any institute of higher learning worth its name. Research is more than a set of specific skills, it is a way of thinking. It examines critically the various aspects of any professional work. It is a structured inquiry that utilizes the acceptable scientific methodology to solve problems and create new knowledge that is generally applicable. The inquiry is aimed at understanding a thing or phenomenon or solving a problem. The term research generally, means again and search means to find out. According to Advanced Learner's Dictionary, research is a careful investigation or inquiry specially to search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. According to Creswell, research is a process of steps used to collect and analyze information to increase our understanding of a topic or issue. From many definitions, there is a general agreement that research, 1, is a process of inquiry and investigation, 2, is systematic and methodical, and 3, increases the knowledge. Scientific method consists of systematic observation, classification, and interpretation of data. Research is basically scientific in nature to provide an objective, which is an unbiased evaluation of data. There is nothing like unscientific research approach even in case of social sciences. Research is like undertaking a journey, and one must know about its destination and which route to take. The sequence of steps during the journey is not absolute. At every step, there is multiplicity of methods, approaches, and procedures. Here, experience of guide comes handy to guide our actions to achieve our objectives. As a teacher, the following questions may arise. 1. What are the common conditions prevalent among rural students? 2. What are the possible causes of such conditions? 3. What is the degree of satisfaction of parents with the teaching of school? 4. The satisfaction of parents with the teaching of school? 4. The change in level of understanding of students with the change in method of teaching. The list of questions may be endless. Researches have to be undertaken to find answers to these questions. Research objectives. Research adds to the existing stock of knowledge. The main purpose of research is to discover answers to questions through the application of scientific procedures. The typical objectives of research can be summarized as follows. 1. Gain familiarity with a new phenomenon or develop new insight into a phenomenon. 2. Review and synthesize the existing knowledge. 3. Investigate some existing situation or problem. 4. Offer solutions to a problem. 5. A new procedure or system. 7. Generate new knowledge. The actual research may encompass one or combination of any of the above objectives. Important terms linked with research. The research is basically about gaining knowledge for different purposes. To gain knowledge is a human quest. Different approaches were developed over the period to acquire the knowledge through research. In the NET exams, questions are asked on basic concepts. These concepts will help the candidates in better understanding of various aspects of research as well. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that deals with abstract concepts such as being, knowing, identity, time, and space. It is intimately connected with epistemology. Epistemology is the study of knowledge. It deals with origin. Nature is the study of knowledge. It deals with origin, nature, scope, and methods to acquire knowledge. The term was first used by Frederick Ferrier. There are basically two ways to acquire knowledge: rationalism and empiricism. Rationalism tends to believe that logic and reason is the means of acquiring knowledge. Mind is given the authority over senses. This is basically a priori use of logic and reason come first to conclude something before experience. Rationalism is associated with deduction. Empiricists claim that sense experience is the ultimate starting point for all our knowledge. The senses give us all our raw data about the world, and without this raw material, there would be no knowledge at all. This is termed as a posteriori. It is related to induction. Research between natural sciences and social sciences. And so is the difference between research approaches relating to them. Hence, there are two competing paradigms to acquire knowledge. The paradigms are grouped as Positivist Paradigm and Interpretive Paradigms. Positivist Paradigm. It is associated with quantitative research strategies. There is one particular view of how research should be conducted, which suggests that we should carry out research in social sciences in ways that are similar to the methods within the natural sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology. This is called the positivist or scientific approach. According to the positivist approach, the research design should be highly structured, reliable, and the research design should aim to generate large-scale, statistically based studies. Interpretive paradigm. It is usually associated with qualitative research strategies. It is specifically applicable in social sciences such as sociology, political science, etc. According to interpretive approach, the research design should be flexible and unstructured. The methods should be valid, and the research design should generate small-scale and intensive data, using insider accounts and based on descriptions of what is seen and what is heard. Verstehen. The term is closely associated with the work of the German sociologist, Max Weber. In social sciences, such as anthropology and sociology, Verstehen means such as anthropology and sociology. Verstehen means a systematic interpretive process in which an outside observer of a culture attempts to relate to it and understand others. Verstehen roughly translates to meaningful understanding, or putting yourself in the shoes of others to see things from their perspective. The method of the natural sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, etc., is explanation, erklären, whereas that of history is understanding, verstehen. The understanding about positivist and interpretive paradigms is crucial to differentiate between quantitative, qualitative, and other types of approaches or methods that are basic types of research. These terms have been discussed later in this chapter. Theory. A theory is a set of systematically related statements, provide hypotheses, and these hypotheses determine what must be measured. Motivation in conducting research. Although there is some overlapping between the research objectives and motivation for undertaking research, they are different. Some factors, single or combined, for undertaking any research are as follows. 1. Acquire a research degree along with its consequential benefits. 2. Face the challenge in solving the unsolved problems. 3. Intellectual satisfaction of doing some innovative work. 4. Service to the society. 5. Desire to enhance the social status. 6. Input for policy decision making. However, the list for motivating people to undertake research studies is not exhaustive. Research characteristics. There are research studies is not exhaustive. Research characteristics. There are certain common desirable characteristics in the research process. There is word of caution. there is overlapping in the meaning and scope of these characteristics. They ensure that research is free of biases, prejudices, and subjective errors. 1. Objectivity. It means research is without any bias. All other characteristics are built around it. Researchers usually take utmost precautions that results are not affected by their own presence, behavior, and attitude. They critically examine the research methods to avoid any bias. 2. Reliability. Reliability in the context of research is consistency. It refers to the extent to which an investigation produces consistent results. It can also be termed as verifiability. If any research yields similar results each time, it is undertaken with similar population in the given context and with similar procedures, it is said to be a reliable research. Suppose a research is conducted on the effects of watching television on the class performance of the children, and if the results conclude that watching TV causes low grades in class, and if another sample taken from the population shows the same results with the same research procedure, then we can say that the research procedure and the outcome are reliable. The more the similarity in the results, the more is the reliability of research. Coefficient of determination is also termed as reliability coefficient. 3. Validity. Here, concept of validity can also be understood by posing a question. Are we measuring or able to measure what we originally intended to measure? Validity means that research must be unbiased and free from any systematic error, as these may impact the applicability of research. Without validity, research goes in the wrong direction. Generally, validity is termed to be much more important than reliability. To keep the research on the right track, it is must that the concepts are defined in the best possible manner so that no error occurs during measurement. Different types of validity are given below. Internal validity. With higher internal validity, a researcher is able to establish better causal relationship between two or internal validity. With higher internal validity, a researcher is able to establish better causal relationship between two or more variables. This is specifically true in case of laboratory experiments where cause and effect relationship is supposed to be more clearly established. External validity. It means that external factors that can affect the study must be controlled. For example, the response of a respondent in social sciences surveys may be affected by mere the presence of a non-participant observer. It also refers to the extent to which research outcome can be generalized and applied to other cases that are not under study. Sometimes, internal validity is also termed as credibility and external validity is termed as generalizability. Both credibility and generalizability have been discussed as separate features also in the ensuing discussion. Face validity. By valid, we mean that survey and questionnaire accurately measure what they are supposed to measure. For example, all participants who filled a questionnaire meant for measuring certain personality traits agree that this exercise appears to measure those traits, and not something very different. Content validity. The indicator measures all aspects of the construct, or concept as discussed earlier, and not just a part of it. Criterion validity. The indicator corresponds with and is predictive of measurements using related indicators. Construct validity. The indicator measures the construct in a manner that is convergent with other measures in terms of direct, e.g., the level of education and income level converge. The indicator also allows discrimination of opposing constructs. Accuracy. It is closely related to validity. It is also the degree to which research processes, instruments, and tools are related to each other. Accuracy also measures whether the research tools have been selected in the best possible manner and research procedures suit the research problem or not. Rigorous scientific methods and procedures have been adopted in research, and each step in the research is tested for accuracy. Thus, choosing the best data collection tool improves the accuracy of research. 5. Credibility. It is the use of best source of information and the best procedures in the research. The use of secondary data saves time and reduces cost. However, the excessive reliance on secondary data when the option of primary data is available entails the risk of reducing the credibility of the research. Hence, it has to be trade-off between primary data and secondary data. The accurate references in research enhance the credibility of research, but fake references also decrease the credibility of research. 6. Generalizability. It is closely related to validity. It refers to the degree to which research findings can be applied to a larger population. The sample considered is the representative of the whole population, so the findings should also be applicable to the population. 7. Empirical research. Experiences, or observation by the researcher. It implies that research is related basically to one or more aspects of a real situation and deals with concrete data that provides a basis for external validity to the results of the research. 8. Systematic. For a research to be effective, it has to be systematic. It is the only approach to undertake any research work, and each step must follow the other. There are a set of procedures that have been tested over a period of time and are, thus, suitable to use in research. Each research, therefore, should follow a definite procedure. 9. Controlled factors. In real-life experience, there is always more than one factor that affects an outcome of an event. Similarly, in research, various factors may affect the outcome. Some are taken as controlled factors. Factors may affect the outcome. Some are taken as controlled factors, whereas the others are tested for possible outcome. The concept of control implies that, in exploring causality in relation with two variables, factors, we set up a study in a way that minimizes the effects of other factors affecting the relationship. The controlled factors or variables have to be controlled rigorously. In physical sciences, it is easier to control such factors as the experiments are conducted in laboratories. In social sciences, it is extremely difficult as research is carried out on the issues related to human beings living in society, where exerting such controls are not possible. Moreover, within social sciences, the level of control may vary significantly from one discipline to another. Research is a cyclical process because it starts with a problem and ends with a problem. 11. Logical. The statement, "a good research is logical," implies that research is guided by the rules of logical reasoning. Induction and deduction are of great value in research, which have been discussed under types of research. 12. Replicable. This characteristic allows the results of the research to be verified by replicating the study and thereby building a sound basis for decisions. Types of research. Table 2.1 gives an idea about the main bases adopted for the classification of research. Here, it is important to mention that these approaches are not exclusive. The research is usually interdisciplinary. Depending on the subject area, it is better that the researcher specializes in any one form of research because all research methods have their own advantages and disadvantages. Table 2.1 below enlists the basis for classification and the types of research that form a part of it. It is important to note that there is overlapping among different types of research. Table 2.1 Classification of research. No. Basis of classification types 1. Objectives 1. Descriptive 2. Correlational 3. Explanatory 4. Exploratory 5. Experimental 2. Outcome 1. Fundamental 2. Applied 3. Logic 1. Deductive 2. Inductive 4. Process 1. Quantitative 2. Qualitative 5. 1. Quantitative 2. Qualitative 5. Inquiry mode 1. Structured 2. Unstructured 6. Idea or concept 1. Conceptual 2. Empirical classification of research on the basis of objectives from the purpose and objectives point of view. A research can be classified as follows. 1. Descriptive research 2. Correlational research 3. Explanatory research 4. Experimental research. Descriptive research 1. Descriptive research can answer questions such as, what is or, what was. Here, the information is collected without changing the environment, i.e., nothing is manipulated. Sometimes these are referred to as correlational or observational studies. It is any study that is not truly experimental. 2. It includes surveys and fact-finding inquiries with adequate interpretation. For example, in human research, a descriptive research can provide information about the naturally occurring health status, behavior, attitudes, or other characteristics of a particular group. Descriptive research can involve a one-time interaction with groups of people, cross-sectional study, or a study might follow individuals over time, longitudinal study. 2 specific examples are being given here. 1. Ministry of Agriculture would like to know about the crop patterns across different states in India, and 2. School principal may be interested to know about the result of his own school in comparison to other schools in the district. Descriptive research, historical, exploratory, and analytical research, and sometimes, these terms can be used interchangeably. Ex post facto research 1. It is used in social sciences and business organizations. 2. It is conducted in context of a phenomenon after it has occurred or at the time of its occurrence. 3. It basically deals with non-manipulated variables of a phenomenon. Historical research 1. It is another dimension of descriptive research and somewhat similar to ex post facto research. 2. It usually focuses on the historical aspect of an issue of interest or problem. 3. Examples are growth of trade unions in India, evolution of modern education system in India, etc. Analytical research 1. In this method, the researcher uses facts or information already available. 2. It attempts to make critical evaluation of the material. Correlational studies 1. It is undertaken to discover or establish relationship or interdependence between 2 aspects of a situation. 2 or more variables may occur together, but that does not mean that one has caused the other to occur. 2. It may identify factors leading to a certain situation. For example, ascertaining the degree of relationship between stress among students to perform in the exam and rote learning. What is the impact of promotional campaign on the sales of a product? Explanatory research. Explanatory research attempts to answer how an situation or a phenomenon. For example, why examination-related stress leads to rote learning? Why and how stress leads to a heart disease? Exploratory research 1. It is generally done in the beginning of a research. It is undertaken to explore an area where little is known or to investigate the possibilities of undertaking a particular research study and is akin to feasibility study or pilot study. A small-scale study is undertaken to decide whether it is worth carrying out a detailed investigation. 2. It attempts to clarify why and how there is a relationship between two or more aspects of a situation or phenomenon. 3. The purpose of exploratory research is to gain background information, to define terms, to clarify the problems, to develop hypotheses, to establish research priorities and objectives, and to develop questions to be answered. Four. It makes use of secondary data, mainly literature review, experience surveys, case studies, interviews, mainly focus groups interviews, projective techniques, and Delphi techniques. Experimental research or causal studies. 1. It is cause and effect finding research. It seeks to uncover cause and effect relationships. 2. An action or occurrence can cause other action. For example, smoking causes lung cancer. It brings up a definite cause and effect relationship. It identifies the variable that changes the dependent variable. For example, smoking causes weak lungs and not vice versa. 3. If we are able to identify the cause of a problem, then we may be on the way to find a solution to the problem, as is the case in medical science. Reflexivity refers to circular relationships between cause and effect. A reflexive relationship is bidirectional with both the cause and the effect affecting one another in a relationship in which neither can be assigned as causes or effects. For example, poverty is the main cause of unemployment, and unemployment is the main cause of poverty. Classification of research on the basis of application. On the basis of application, research is of two types, namely pure or basic research and applied research. Research 1. The main purpose of basic research is to add to the existing stock of knowledge and, thus, can be intellectually challenging. 2. The knowledge produced through pure research is sought in order to add to the existing body of research methods. 3. It is not likely to have any practical application at the present time or even in the future. Applied research 1. Applied research is done to solve specific, practical questions facing the society. 2. It can be used for policy formulation, administration, and understanding of a phenomenon. 3. It is always done on the basis of basic research and can be carried out by academic or industrial institutions. For example, an academic institution, such as a university, will have a specific applied research program funded by an industrial partner interested in that program. Action research. The term action research was coined during 1940s by Kurt Lewin, a German-American social psychologist who is widely considered to be the founder of this field. Action research refers to a wide variety of evaluative, investigative, and analytical research methods designed to diagnose problems or weaknesses, whether organizational, academic, or instructional, and help researchers to develop practical solutions to address them quickly and efficiently. It may also be applied to programs or educational techniques that are not necessarily experiencing any problems, but that researchers simply want to learn more about the techniques and improve their knowledge. But that researchers simply want to learn more about the techniques and improve their knowledge. The general goal is to create a simple, practical, repeatable process of iterative learning, evaluation, and improvement that leads to increasingly better results. Action research may also be called a cycle of action, or cycle of inquiry, because it typically follows